Hey, welcome to the Abundance Hour. I'm your manifestation and business coach, Hema. And in Abundance Hour, we focus on breaking perceptions and expanding your boundaries to limitless success. So I believe success has to meet your soul, and that is where success remains joyful and everlasting, isn't it? So here in today's session, we have across as Mrs. Bindu. She is a special needs child educator and a parenting consultant and a Reiki grandmaster, and she has been into this for almost 20 years, right? With her rich experience, she has been wanting to expand the impact, help the parents struggling with no dealing in parenting their special like needs children, along with adding the no essence of healing and self transformation aspect. So here we welcome Bindu. Welcome Bindu to the Abundance Art, and we are so happy to have you with us to give so much of wisdom and nuggets to our audience.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hugh.
Thanks a lot, Priyanka.
Thank you so much for this platform. I really feel so much of gratitude. I just have taken up the stage, and it's first time I'm actually getting into a podcast. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Bindu. So, Bindu, no, even before we start and go into no other stuff, I want to know what made you to really want to become a parenting consultant and get into the special needs field, because it is very sensitive and not so easy not to connect with people, because hardly I think people have awareness and people speak about it. What made you come into this?
Actually, it's a long story short. I'll relate it very short. I actually, destiny brought me to special needs. I was a person who had zero knowledge about special needs. I didn't even know. I only seen few people in my life who had special needs issues and all that. And I never used to be very honest, I never used to be bothered that much. I used to feel, yeah, they are one among us, and that's how it is. But until I got it in my personal life, where I had to really deal with it, and that's when I really understood, this is something so major, so great.
So you are mother of a special needs child.
I'm mother of a special needs child, and something which has been given to me, and I didn't know how to handle it. So I took a call of learning it.
What was your age, Bindu, when you discovered?
I was 28 or 29. Yeah. When I was 27, my son was born. And after 1 or 2 years, we came to know that he has some issues and all that. And though I knew it before, but there comes a lot of issues of accepting it and really looking at it. So when a lot of friends and well-wishers started talking about it, that's when we went to a pediatrician, and then from there, life took a turn. Okay, so then I understood that it needs to be something that I have to understand my child better. So I went into special education, and then I felt, okay, I can do much more for other children also, other than my child. I had an interest, some kind of interest came to me, and I just ventured into it.
Okay. Okay. And healing was after you discovered the special need child, or even before that you were into this Reiki?
And no, that is also a segment I never knew, that there is something called energy, how life works and all, where actually not a known zone at all for me. I just thought, okay, life just happens. We just live and, just like any other person. And that sort of understanding only I used to have. But I was pushed into Reiki by one of my very close friends. And I really thank her. At this moment, I want to thank her because I feel my life has changed from there. So when I got into healing, my son got the first healing from my guru. And I saw him just sleeping after that, the first healing. So that made me realize there is something more to this. And then she pushed me into learning it. And then I've never took it back.
Wow.
So with my
healings, I think is this we sometimes call. I can understand that when you first discovered that your baby or your kid was a special needs, how much of traumatic you would have felt initially. No, because we all dream of having such a fancy life and like that like movie type of thing, and then we discover that ours is a little different. And how is society accept it, and how am I going to live my life, and how will I deal with it? so much of things go around us, isn't it? So, and that feels like a disruption, disruption of all our dreams. And as you said, accepting itself is the biggest challenge. And but that disruption becomes for a reason, and later on you will discover that it was for a reason. Wasn't it for that, you would not have become such a amazing and established healer and an energy person, because it needs a lot of patience and compassion to be in, and not everyone can do that. So I think this again is one of the beautiful disruptions, which I would call, and as a manifestation coach, and which has brought you here, and again thanks to the universe. So, Bindu, what has been your biggest challenges in this journey, from discovering a special need child to being able to accept and regulate your, life around? How did you?
See, the first thing that comes with understanding that your child is a specially needs or differently able child, is a fear and shame that comes along. Fear and shame, no? Shame, oh my God, how am I going to face the society? What will the society see? Exactly, no? And you can't face anybody, you don't even feel like taking your child outside and or gatherings and all that, because everybody starts asking you, why is he different? Oh God, Bindu has got a child like this, and because I've been living a different life before, and we create a kind of uh, image about ourselves. Yes, yeah, let us image about ourselves, and to break that is my God. It is like, so you, each and every parent I think so goes through this. You just go down and you feel you are nothing. Your life is gone for a past. And what to do from here, you don't go. So you go into a deep sadness. Okay, along with that guilt comes, what did you do wrong? Why has this come to you? Why is such an experience for you? You didn't do anything wrong. So it is like a punishment. This was like why it's like a punishment. So you get a feeling that you're punished. That's a thing that comes to you. So and at that age, I think so. Now when I turn back and see, it's such a young age, and you don't even know much about the world. Okay, now things are opened,
And hardly you have people to support and tell you, it's okay, I will.
so during my times, there were hardly few people knew about it, what to be done about. So luckily I was in Chennai, so I could at least access was there. Chennai was a place, a hub for special needs where you get a different kind of therapies. A lot of things were open here. So, but if you are in a small town or anything, again you are into a shell. You can't be
People are repeating the rules of the time.
and it's a close knit group and all, so it's very tough there. But here at least we had the freedom to go and find out what we can do, and there are a lot of options always to explore. Need to explore also. So life has been a challenge, still it is a challenge. I not say life was very smooth, though I have evolved and transformed and all that, but still every day is a challenge, because we all are human, and as human in a human drive, we all go through that, and it is okay. I found myself it is okay, but that time I used to feel I don't want to be sad in front of others, so I used to keep a smiling face. I used to feel like, yeah, let me smile, and but inside I'll be burning, and I'll be really going through so much of emotions of sadness and guilt, shame. All these things used to go. It is all like one masala khichdi. Yeah, it is just like that with the yes, but outside they put a smiling face, and you are there. So true, so true. We have,
Yeah, I think might be because you were a healer, besides a parent and of a special needs child, you were able to do it. And not every parent can do it.
no, Hima, I'll not agree with that. There's not a healer then. Okay, I was not a healer then. When I started the healing journey, I was thinking, look at me, I was thinking, healing, I have to heal my son and make him cookie. I mean, he has to heal and he will be fine. A little did I know that it was for me. Because not for him, he was actually whole and complete in his own way.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. But when I started and I started healing him, I started getting transformed. I didn't know the energy shift that was happening in you. So Reiki was something which helped me to transform within. And within, what is within is what is without. Yes, isn't it? What comes out. I didn't do any of these things. But Tareke brought in a lot of good people into my life, a lot of books into my life, which I started reading and understanding, and the opportunities that was given. But I picked up the opportunity. That is what I took up. I chose to do.
And that is what matters, AM, right? So matters. One is like getting access to the right resources. Because we all can go wrong. Like we can try random things and really get completely burn out. But getting the right people, resources, as I said, the right books, knowledge, and that is nothing less than a miracle, I would say, yeah. Because you cannot find the right mentor, right person just like that in the life. Right? We have to go through so many, hurdles for that. And healing yourself within has given you strength to deal, and might be that wisdom on how to handle this ups and downs, day-to-day ups and downs, yeah, with your son as well, is it? Yeah.
So yeah, the only question was how to keep myself happy. Happiness is just a general term. Now I understand that. That time it was like how to find happiness in this scenario. How am I going to be peaceful and happy? So I think so. This question brought everything to. Only this question was within me. Now how also know? I mean, what am I going to do for this? But now the house appeared. Everything appeared. All good. I've always had good people around. Meet friends, my mentors, the places I go, even family also. Family never interfered. It's not that they supported too much, but they didn't.
But at least not interfere. That is also more than enough nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, that is more than enough. They were not there to taunt you or
yes, that is needed.
Yeah. But support, thing me and my husband only has done major portion of it. And yes, people were there.
And again, thanks to the universe that the spouse was also accepting and supporting.
Yes.
Like men, again, it is very difficult for them, and they are big degrees of prestige.
I've seen in my life, in my school, being a teacher and all that, it is very difficult for the fathers to
exactly.
Either one of them. I've seen in special needs, only most of the cases, only one of them will be there. One of them will be actively involved in the child. But if the other partner, other parent also, both of them are together, it becomes much easy.
Yes, easier.
Also, well, the child also get benefited a lot. I've seen that in my son. How when we work together and we are there in sync, actually gets
is the yourselves also
yeah, sphere differs, and they also don't take advantage of us.
Yes.
Because special needs, though they are special needs, but they are very
yes.
They just,
they are a different level, is it?
They are in a different zone. Yeah. So, but we did not treat them in that manner.
Yes.
We had to bring them into this realm of third realm, yeah, and then treat them in that.
So, Bindu, you are running a school. So now how many years since you're running this special needs school?
It's 15 years.
15 years, right? So this 15 years, what all different kinds of parents have you seen when they bring up their special needs children? So can you mention some of the, unique or weird thoughts and perceptions with which parents come to you when they come to the special needs school?
I'll not say it is weird or all, because I feel all mothers, parents, especially mothers, they all do get their best. Whatever way they do, I will never ever find any fault with any mother, because mothers do their best. Even fathers also. Most of the fathers do, and what many of them don't know. Yet see, since I went to the special need education, I know the nuances of
they might not, where they
are. Many of them will not know it. So they come up with a lot of questions and all that. But yes, there are parents who don't want to take up the responsibility. They feel, what am I going to do with this child? How am I going to? They just want to put the child into a center or school, and they want to expect that you take care of. Yeah, take care. But they want everything to be proper also at core. But they don't understand it works everywhere, as a whole. The school, the home, all aspects, it has to be,
they become facility.
Yeah, it has to be in a sync.
Yeah.
There also it has to go in a sync. So it doesn't mean that you have to do each and every activity at home. So I always don't at all entertain this part. I have never worked with my child at home, doing activities with her. I used to only generalize things with him. I used to involve him in his the household chores. involve him in example, like, if we are going to have a dinner, I ask him to take the plates and cup, keep the things, set the table, and then after eating, wind up around. So I used to involve him. So involving him in day-to-day activities instead of making the child sit and do some activity. The home front should not be an activity place. Home front should be a home.
Home, yes.
School should be a school. But you can generalize, take inputs from the school and generalize at home.
So basic life skills, we can engage them. Yes, give them that engagement.
That was very important. Take the child out. Take the child out into the world. Show the child different places, different spaces, different people.
Yes, they have to, will it not confuse that?
No, okay. You have to set boundaries. No, they have to know what you should do, what you can do, what you cannot. That comes with consistency.
From our parents.
Consistency only works because your brain works in that fashion. You keep on giving, then they get it. Then they never forget that. So you have to take, many of them have this obsessive behaviors. They repetitive, they keep on doing that. So you have to take it to your advantage.
Teach them what is needed
And make that as an advantage. So that's
So now here we have to become smart here. Isn't it?
It is smart parenting.
Okay.
It is smart parenting. It is a different path, but it is very beautiful and it is interesting. But it has its own challenges, and we have to equip ourselves. So for me, what I did is I equipped myself with energy healing and taking care of my inner being, getting myself stronger that manner, mentally, emotional strength. Now, what do we say? Nowadays, emotional quotient is the highest rating more than intellectual, isn't it? Yeah. So, emotionally, we have to set ourselves very stable and, high. So, when you are there, then you will be able to handle your child. So, that is a work I want to do.
Amazing, Hindu. Yes, definitely. I think, not only special needs, when it comes to parents, we parents think my son needs some attention, my daughter needs some attention, he needs some class. But we forget that if I can work on myself, that can automatically equip myself to change or align my son or me to my son. So the need is for parents to align with what our kids need and to understand, because we operate from a different intellectual level. And we need to give up our ego to be able to ground to their intellectual level. And that is where the win-win happens. Yes. So how was it with the special needs children? Do you think that it is almost we need to work on the parents?
Yeah.
Or more on the children?
Parent,
where is the focus?
Core. Okay. Core is the parent. So, okay. Whatever the parent is, that's what the child's.
Energies, right?
Energies is very, yeah, whatever. See, energies where people don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay. At least you understand thoughts. You are a thoughtister. What you care and what is your idea and how do you operate?
Yes.
So, with the child has a lot of sensory issues.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The so-called normal children operate in the world. They go beyond that. Everything is balanced. A sensorial aspect and all is balanced. They are all able to operate. But I always have felt whatever we work in the special needs, if it's put to the normal world, children also, they just grow up beautifully. Wow. Because this is required everywhere. It's about, yes. Why did I quote it is? It's about human being. So what is that the children lack now? It's an emotional stability that they lack. And where it starts from them. Oh, home in one. Whatever you are at home is what you go and do out. Okay, so when a child comes to us, the moment we see the child, we know what happens at home. Oh, God. Because the child carries that income. And with children who have difficulties, they don't know to fake. But they are what they are. They are pure. So the other children and all, they are actually told to behave as a certain way. Yeah, in the certain manner. Behave. Yeah. But with special needs, you never find that. They are as, human. The authentic human, you can say, pure being. They are. It's with them. See, yeah. So when we see them, we just go, this is what happens at home. So the parent need not explain to us so much also. We get to know from the child what it is.
Amazing.
So just imagine the environment that we have to form at home.
Great.
So that's why we focus. What I have learned from my child is the moment I change something, my thought or my behavior or my attitude, I see that in my child. I see him immediately, maybe in a day or two, coming now and very grounded.
Yes, yes. I have experienced this with with 2 to 3 clients who have were parents of special needs, and she has been going to a lot of therapies. So there's nothing that she's not tried. Best of the therapies and stuff, but still something was missing, and that is where someone referred her, and she came to work with me. And when she started working on herself, it was becoming much easier to see the change in the children also. Right? So I strongly believe that even for normal parents, first we need to work on ourselves. That if for even for me, I'm a parent of 2 children, and anytime I see that my kids are not aligned with my thoughts or no actions, I'm not liking, I immediately ask myself, okay, is something in me triggering this? And when I calm down, I see that they are by default calming down. They are no more listening, loving, and caring, and that everything falls in place. And I understand special needs children are more sensitive compared to this no our normal children. Vindu, I had one question. So we say prevention is better than cure, isn't it? So I want to understand from you, with your experience, what can we no really avoid the situation of having a special needs child, or if not completely avoid, because there can be genetic challenges also, biological challenges also. What precautions, or from when the parents or the couple should start working on? So is it about when no even deciding? So I remember my father telling that this is where I came to know that we are not supposed to marry in the same family line, is it? And that causes disabilities. That was one of the things I have heard. I don't know much about it. So like this, even before you know understand whom you're going to marry, does that matter? Number one. Number two, no, even before you initiate the no intercourse or a plan, when you have this physical relationship and you're planning the baby, that matters. The emotions that time matters, or it's after you are pregnant and no the care that is given after that matters. So where all do we take precautions to at least no ensure that our fetus is must be possibly a healthy one? So can we avoid that? If you can throw any light on this.
Yeah, it's such a serious question and a very important question. But um, what I would like to say is this question has been there for me uh, my son was born. So where did this go wrong? Also, when I turn back and see, yes, there is a certain amount of stress that I'm falling through in my wife and all that during my pregnancy and all that. And sometimes we feel that the guilt takes over. So something wrong you have done. Why did you go through all that stress? Know your child is bearing that. But I feel that the pregnancy, it's not about the pregnancy thing that you have to get ready. That the child gets ready. I mean, the people get ready right from their childhood is what I feel. When a child grows up, you form your belief system. Everything of whatever adult life you go through is formed during your early years. Okay, so it actually starts from there, but it is too complicated to look into that because it's an ocean there, like if you have to talk, it's a never ending thing. But what I would like to say is when a couple they're planning for a child, it's better they take care of their emotional health. They are in a happy zone, and usually they say that you can actually invite soul before you conceive. Yes, yes, even yeah. So you can do that. But there are a lot of procedures, and how you have to get ready for those things and what. Uh, but uh, but according to me, I feel if you're planning to conceive, just be in a good frame of mind. You can do yoga, or you can get into meditation. You can feel happy within. Bring that fun element. into you, so that your each and every cell in your body is vibrating in that energy. So nice, yeah. Nice. So once you get there, is I think so is where you invite a very healthy soul.
So basically, only plan a baby if you're happy. Don't plan a baby alone.
That's why they say, before people used to say, yeah, ancestor. I mean, old people used to say that, you should have a baby within the first few months of your marriage, because the khane kan tai the happy period and all that. So there is a reason why they say that. But nowadays couples can't do that, because both of them are working and they plan it out. And we change according to the tying and all that. So that is fine. But at least when you are planning for something like this, just see that your mindset is healthy and happy, and then go for it.
So even before conceiving,
Yeah.
put yourself into that happy zone,
Yeah.
and then get it planned.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree with you, Bindu, because a lot of clients who come to manifestation and therapy for PCOD, PCOS, and infertility issues also. After they have worked on their EQ and we have given them sessions on that, they are able to conceive. They have tried so many things, but they're able to conceive because again, uterus, right? Our all emotions are being absorbed in your abdomen part, and you are Reiki healer. I hope you understand that, isn't it? So the mental health of both the parents are very important, because the father who is transferring the sperm or the seed of the baby, his emotions matter. People think it's only about the mother, and if she is pregnant, only take care of the mother. No. I recently came across one of the videos where they said when 9 months a mother is pregnant, those 9 months the father should also work on his belief system, his routine, his discipline also. So even before conceiving, I think both parents, no, maybe at least the coming generations should take the effort to put them into that no empowered zone, and then start no planning for a baby. So such an amazing point that you have brought.
Exactly. Yeah. Better. Yeah. Because yes, our body has to be ready. Our energy has to be ready.
So that's what transport into that soul. Right?
Yeah. Yes, that's what happens with the. I mean, this is just a gist I have given you, but there is more,
Yeah, lots me here. It's my two years of something. Yeah. Because I want to ask, no, you have been running a special educator school, and you are a healer as well, and no, you consult parents on no, which resources they can actually no, connect, and how to take help on taking care of this journey of parenting a special needs child. So, as a consultant, what kind of services do you know provide? So, what do no parents get in your program? Is it for the children or it is for the parents? So how does your program or your consulting become more different or help people?
yeah. So me venturing into a parent consultant, being a consultant for special needs, it's something I've been carrying for many years, almost maybe 7 years. This is very close to my heart, but I thought I have to just leave it. I have to just abandon it, because I found the parents to be it is tough for parents to take it. So the moment you say that you have to work on yourself, many of them just take a step back. They feel, why should we work on ourselves? We already have something so heavy in our hands, a kind of such a heavy thing it is, to deal with the special needs. It's not a joke at all. It is not easy at all. But then how can we work on ourselves? That hardly we get time to do all of these things. So then I thought, okay, I am not able to reach them. So let me take a break, and then we see what I can do. So all these 7 years I've been working so much on me, trying to gather so much of information, and what can be done. Where do I lack that I'm not able to give this properly? Correct, with the likeness. So now I feel I'm so much ready for it, and I really want to do this. I got an opportunity to do this. So I'm going to venture into this. So through my program, what I want to do is to empower the family as such.
Wow, as the whole family as a unit. Wow.
Yeah. When a special needs child come, it is not only the responsibility of the mother and father. It is also the responsibility of the other family, extended family members, to support them in this. Only then you will be able to bring a child who can be grounded and who can be very peaceful in its own being, in his or her being. Because whenever you see special needs, you always see them as violent and very agitated, shouting, screaming. They have their reasons. In I feel it's a form of communication for them, where some things are not met.
Maybe we are not they should understand their message. Yeah, okay.
We are not able to do that. And it's because, and what happens to this mother especially, she can so tired, so depressed, and there is no life force. That for life energy is so low in her. And I've seen parents where they reach, maybe they do not cross even 35, they fall sick. They either have lot of back pain or shoulder pain. And why I'm specifying this is, this actually indicates so much of responsibility they
And it's psychosomatic, right? It's just related to their emotions. What are they
taking. The whole 99% of it is psychosomatic, and say 1% we leave it aside. So that is what brought to me. When I'm able to take care of myself, I have seen that in me. It's not that every day is still a lot of challenge. Everything comes, but I just get over with it because I know how to come out of.
So, Bindu, sorry, here I would know, as you were mentioning about the so much of stress that the parents take, I wanted to ask you this question: Ki when a special needs child is born, see, generally when a child is born, it feels like a mother's career is over, right? So, when a special needs child is born, so is it that the parents cannot pursue their ambitions and career? Is it all gone now until the child gets independent? So, how long they have to be in this zone, or do you help people to also is this empowering help them to also pursue their ambitions? So, can you just throw some light on this?
I have seen many parents. Recently, I saw a young mother, she has left her job now because she's not able to balance her home front with a child and also with a family as such, because the family is not supporting. They actually are putting pressure, or why is this child like this? What are you doing? When she's working, you're working, you're not taking care of the child. And now she has left the job, you're just sitting simply, so you could do all this work. It doesn't work at all in this manner. So what happens to the mother is, she has to actually sacrifice on her ambition. Totally. Yeah. Okay. But then there are mothers who are able to balance it, but that's a small percentage. But what I would recommend is always, maybe the first 3 or 4 years of them and be your life, if you're going to give it to your child, and build the foundation strong. A strong foundation. After that, you can go for your work, whatever you want to. Please do that. You have to do it.
Yeah, so I think you have been running a school and you have been taking up healing and you have been pursuing your passion besides handling your child, isn't it? So, and it is possible. We only need to, I think, create that a community, belonging community where we are being acknowledged and the possibilities seen. And for that, parents need to come forward and we need to do is still hoping them that it is possible. Is it with
Oh yeah, it's a support group that you have to put. Yeah, support group of people who can help you at home. Take help. Ask for help. See, the one thing that I didn't do is for asking for help. I used to feel, no, I have this, why should I actually ask? That was a very difficult thing for me to ask. But now I realize we have to ask for help. People are ready to help you. But unless
we don't ask, how do they?
Yeah, nobody, no, people will think, maybe they don't need it. So when you're ready to ask, there are a lot of people who are there to help. So ask for help and take care of your life. Do all that you like to do, want to do, which will make you happy. Because end of the day, when you come back home, you actually can share that happiness with your child. But if you are frustrated and you are sad and upset, you actually can give only that. So whatever you have in your cup is what you give, isn't it? So if you're going to fill your cup with a lot of fulfillment and joy and happiness and all that, you will be giving that.
Because what you have only you can hear, right? Or you cannot have, give us what not have.
Yeah, for this reason, I always recommend the parents, the mother, they have to go for a job. If you have something which you're passionate about, please go ahead and do it. But build a support group and do it so that it's not overwhelming for you.
there are choices, there are options, but you have to come forward. Yes, that the world doesn't get end there. Where you discover that you have a special.
Now there are nth number of things that are there that is available. WhatsApp groups, support groups. Whatever you ask for, it is there. So make use of it.
Bidu, here there is no lot of financial thing also involved, isn't it? So do you have any suggestion or advice for managing this no financial problems? Like, are all therapies expensive, or no? There are options that can be combined, and still parents can avail those resources. Any recommendations from your end?
Yeah, this is a very nicey thing that you. This is something which is very that needs a lot of planning also, because when it comes to special needs, things are expensive because it's not only one thing that the child needs. There are a lot of other therapies, a number of therapies, sometimes maybe 3 or 4 therapies that people recommend, for the parent, to the parents who have to take the child and all that. But what I feel is the first and foremost thing that the parents have to do is to narrow down what is important for the moment. At that moment, what's a priority? Pick up that. Don't compare your child with the other children and think and think for yourself that oh, that parent is taking for this number of therapies, so let me also take my child to all these places. Maybe it will not work out because each child is unique. So you have to understand what your child's needs are and accordingly do. So many of them who I see with small children, they don't know where to go nowadays. They feel they have to take them for a lot of therapy so that they find the improvement. They actually looking out for improvements very soon. But you have to understand that this takes time. Even a small thing, if you ask a child, example, go pick up the class and come. If the child is able to do, that's a milestone actually. It's something you have achieved. That itself becomes a celebration, something to celebrate, because language is a major impairment for many of them. So to make the child understand and pick up and come and all that, it takes time. So each and everything, even if you go for therapies, maybe it may take 6 months or 1 year to really see something happen. So you really have to plan it properly and see what is the requirement of the child and do it accordingly.
So Bindu, sorry to interrupt here. You said that it might even take 6 months to 1 year, no, for the therapies to work. So do you think that combining my self-work along with my child's therapy can actually reduce this effort and this extensive duration? Do you think that can help? When I combine my history along,
I think so. That is a one thing that will really help.
yeah,
That is a cross.
but then can really get a little faster. Yeah.
Faster in the sense, it will put the parent into a very much
Acceptance zone,
understanding zone, perspective shifts. There's a shift in perspective where you look at it in a different way altogether, and then from there you choose. Wow. It is about choosing things. And how do you choose? When you really have a good understanding, only you can choose.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will just go for shopping.
Yeah.
Each and every place, and then you feel nothing works. All these things are, just for the namesake.
See, everything works when you believe works, isn't it? Yeah. And that has to be inculcated in.
That this actually aligns you to the proper thing. Because whatever you are, your understanding aligns you to that. This is a law of attraction or whatever manifestation whatever we call. Yes. We hear it so much, these words so much. So what is all this? It's only about your understanding and your focus. Where do you focus? There the energy flows. So if you're going to focus, this is what your child need at this moment. And you actually go and take your child there. And then the child benefits from that. So this is going to be my major work of working with the parent, the family, to making them understand what that child needs, because each child is unique. The program for each child will be different.
Yes, that's what
Tailor-made according to the family, the parents, the child, taking into consideration all aspects, so that whatever may take 3-4 years, I can bring it down to 1 year.
Yes, exactly. That saves finance, that saves you your emotional ego as well.
Not only that, it saves time for the child. Yeah, the earlier the better. So if you're going to deal with all these things before the child reaches 6 or 7, oh, you will see huge transformation in the child itself, because the brain is so flexible that time to take in
Below 7 years.
yeah, below 7 years. So that's a phase where you develop the emotional aspect of the child before 7, you know. But nowadays people give so much of thinking aspect. More than that, build up the child emotionally and mentally, physically.
That is the most needed, is
The most important.
So people here, when you said that people focus on thinking aspect, right? And now everyone wants my child to speak in a certain way. So how much is, because we're talking about emotions, and emotions are not always what we talk. It's how we feel, how we express. So how different is, focusing on verbal communication versus non-verbal communication in these kids, or parents learning more of non-verbal?
Yeah, no, children, there are children who can speak well. There are children who only communicate or they ignore on purpose. Especially in autism, you see most of them, half of the children you see them are non-verbal, totally mute, you know. But it doesn't mean that they don't understand, they can't speak. They will be talking in their minds, but they can't verbalize, they can't break the sounds out. There will be a lot of reasons for that. If you go into that, you will never get an answer sometimes. So what you have to do is to build up the communication, what the speech may come, may not come, doesn't matter. But build up the communication so that the child can communicate and bring out whatever they need to say, that their needs can be expressed. Most of the children, they are not able to express their needs. That's the reason why the behavioral issues come in. The moment there is a behavior, it means that the child can't communicate properly. There are some things the child is not able to communicate. That's why the behavior sets in.
So too beautiful, right? The speech is different from communication. Beautiful, Bindu. And when children are not behaving the way we want, or they're aggressive, it means they are struggling to bring out what they are feeling. And that is why the actions are turning aggressive. Is it, Bindu?
Yeah.
So working on a non-verbal and helping them to express what they're feeling will actually do the job. And for that, we parents also have to learn to understand those cues, isn't it? And again, it comes to that we'll have to put the work on ourselves before we put on our children. So it all boils down that we as adults have to work on ourselves before we put the onus on the children and say that I'm spending so much money, so much time, so much burnout. You are focusing your energy on the wrong place, isn't it? So it's as if we call everybody business. I speak about this 80-20 rule. 20% efforts, 80% results. And I feel here this 20% efforts have to be on you, the parent and the adult, which will give 80% results on the child, plus few therapies you give the child, and the results will be faster. Like Bindu said, something which can take 7 years, she can bring to 1 year, 1.5 years. Just think how much of time you are saving and helping discover the talents in your child and helping them to give the right path. So beautiful, beautiful. Yeah,
Because it actually narrows down to mindset. Yes, it's all about mindset, isn't it? Children are actually so beautiful. When you really look at them on the soul level, they're so beautiful. So beautiful. Something is given to you. The moment I started looking at my son as being a beautiful human, the soul has come. And what am I going to do with this? How am I going to carry this? And what am I going to do with him actually? It depends on that. And when I took that, owning yourself, being responsible, when I started owning that part of, yes, I am responsible for this, is when my life changed totally. Wow, Indu. Yeah.
So we all need to take accountability of our life rather than putting the blame on others. So in manifestation also we talk about my mother-in-law is not doing thing, my father or my husband, my children. No, it's all about you. And when you work out, I've seen examples of people when they work on themselves, they say, now my spouse has changed so much, I don't know how. My children are so loving towards me, I don't know how. Right? So it's the only thing is the client has worked on them. And they tell me results about the husband and the child. Till that, they never mentioned that there was a problem with husband and the child. So it is so beautiful, Bindu. Any piece of advice that you would want to give to our parents who are watching this? No, some at least 3 to 5 takeaways from today's session which they can take, which can help the journey become easier. Some five no takeaways.
No, I don't want to advise on anything. I just, yeah. The takeaways which I'll say is having a special needs doesn't mean your life has come to an end. Actually, I see it's a beginning of a beautiful journey. Because I've seen it in my life through my experience. I'm telling you, every day, even today, till today morning, when I have come, I had to handle so many other things. And it's each challenge. Every day is a new day. Every day has its own challenges. But when you look at it through a different lens altogether, a different perspective, that is what we all need. So I would request parents, don't take it up as something, a punishment or something which life has given you. It's not at all that way. Take it as something which has beautifully come to you, because whatever words we utter, also that comes back to us. Our life throws back. So I always take this word as celebration. Celebration is something which I always say, because I want to celebrate life, and the way we say is what comes back to us. So I would request each parent out there. I understand it is very painful to live in the society with children like this, but just take one step to change your perspective. Just that one step, and then you see what happens, what comes to you. All doors will open to you, and then you can actually sail through this beautiful. This is a word that I can give you. And you can also talk about yeah. And the next aspect that I would like to put up is the energy healing, the healing aspect, because whatever we carry, in day-to-day life with special needs, being a challenge, it's every day a challenge, what I said. How are you going to actually let go of all that you carry, the emotions, the feelings on day-to-day basis? So energy, any alternative healing technique, the Reiki which I follow has helped me immensely. It has helped me to self-cleanse, self-heal myself on everyday basis. So I've been doing for past 20 years, and this is one aspect that has helped me to cleanse myself on day-to-day basis. So if you could take something up, any energy healing technique for you, to practice on daily basis, that can be of immense help to you. And along with a lot of other work, a proper diet, a proper form of exercise, and energy healing, and shifting your thoughts, I think so these factors actually give a holistic approach to our living. And so this is what I.
So thank you, Bindu, for such an amazing session, and I hope all our viewers who are parents would have got a lot of insights about how they can actually see the special needs parenting as an understanding a special need child. And if you think that no, you want to understand more or really take up the no sessions, you can comment, no, put in the comment section special needs, and we will get back to you. If you have any questions regarding special needs parenting or your child or therapies, you can put in the chat box, and we will be happy to respond to you in less than 24 hours. Okay. And you can also write us to hema@mindandmillion.com. And until we come with again an amazing guest speaker at the Abundance Hour, see you all. Bye bye. Thank you. And lots of love and light to all of you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.